When I was a little kid, we used to say, "Mom, I'm going out to play." In New York, you say, "Mom, I'm going down." To get into the building, you can't even get into the building, first of all. There's a row of buttons, and you find the apartment number of your friend, you push the button, then a voice comes out, who's there, then you identify yourself, then this horrible sound comes. As long as that noise is there, you can open the door. Then you go up to the 50th floor, you find your friend's apartment, you knock on the door, you ring the bell, then there's a little piece of glass that gets dark. Who's out there? Then you can hear them unlocking all the locks. But in the village, no need of locks. So all the cowboy just came inside and had grand old time. Meanwhile, that gopi came home and she heard some noise from the windows. She looked inside and saw what was going on. So you've seen in India, we don't have one door. We always have two doors like this, right? Used to be anyway. And there's a bolt on the outside and there's a bolt on the inside. So she went and put the bolt on the outside. Means who's ever inside, now he can't get outside. And she ran to call all her gopi friends. Nandan, he also heard that sound. He knows the meaning of that sound. Then he went out the window. So all the cowboys, they ran, they jumped up, climbed up and jumped out the window. Ping, 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 ping. So if there's one friend of Krishna, one Sakha, his name is Madhumanga. And Madhumanga, first of all, he's not a Gopa. He's a Brahmana. And Madhumanga, he's lame. So he couldn't run like the other cowboys. He couldn't climb up to the window like the other cowboys. And like we just heard, he's a Brahmin, right? Our Braj Brahmins do not tend to be very skinny fellows. So he tried to go through the window. He got stuck. So that gopi came home. They opened up the door. They came inside. Ha! We got you. He said, nobody's here. Just his fat friend of Krishna stuck in the window. Yeah. So they pulled him out of the window. They tied his hands behind his back with flower garlands. They tied a string around his sika. They threw it over the branch of the tree and said, now we got hostage. You thought this hostage thing was a new thing, huh? When I was a little kid, we never heard of this. This has been going on for the last 5,000 years at least. So when you have a hostage, then you have some demand. So they pulled on that string and said, now you call your friend here. Oh, Kaniya! Oh, Katha! Oh, la la! And Krishna heard Madhumanga crying, so he came running to the spot. He became very angry. Are, what have you girls done? Don't you know this Madhumanga, he may be one of my friends, but he's not a Gopa, he's a Brahmana. Now you've done Brahmana Parad. Now your health, your wealth, and your beauty will all be finished. And what do little girls worry about? Health and wealth and beauty. So they all became very frightened. Oh no, oh Shamsundar, what can we do? How can we get free from this aparad? So Shamsundar thought for a minute. He said, look, you go to your house, you find out as many laddus as you have in your house, you bring all those laddus, you feed them to Madhumangal, he'll forget all about the aparad, he will give you Ashirvad, blessing. First you sit him on a nice asan, just like you see, there's Madhumangal's asan on the other side there. You sit him down nicely. They sat him down, they brought all the laddus in the house, they began feeding him to Madhumangal. He became so happy, he forgot about the aparad, he gave them all Ashirvad. What blessing? Mano Kamana, whatever is the dearmost desire in their heart. And what is the dearmost desire in the heart of all the gopis? That somehow Krishna become pleased with them. Somehow Krishna become pleased with them. And that is Krishna consciousness in a nutshell. We're chanting 16 rounds, following regular principles, going to Mangalarti, at least here in Vrindavan, and and offering all our food. Why are we doing all this? So Krishna will become pleased with us. We hear Srimad Bhagavatam class, we associate with devotees, we go to the temple, we come on Trikama with Bandhu. Why? Just so Krishna will become, that's Krishna consciousness. Simple. We make it complicated. It's simple. You just think. Before you do anything, am I doing this so Krishna will become pleased? Or am I doing this so that my senses will be pleased? You keep that formula in your brain. You're always Krishna conscious. Simple. So way on top of the hill, just like Brahma's got 4 heads, this hill has 4 peaks. Can anybody see what's on top of that building there? It's too far for you to see. Peacocks. So this place is called More Kuchir. You know more, what you say in English when you went extra prasadam, huh? No, more means peacock. So what happened was Krishna saw that Radharani and the Sakis were on top of this hill. They were watching something. So he went there and he saw that they were watching the dancing of the peacocks. Peacock was dancing and Krishna was dancing and Peacock was dancing, Krishna was dancing. Then he came before Brishmananandini and she said, "You dance very nicely, but this peacock dances nicer than you." So again, Krishna was dancing and Peacock was dancing and Krishna was dancing and Peacock was dancing. Then he came before Srimati Radhika and she said, "Well, that was much better, but this peacock dances nicer than you." So then Radharani became Morni. If more is peacock, then Morni means peahen. And Radha and Krishna began to dance as peacock and peahen in this place. And there's beautiful painting up there in that temple. Radha and Krishna dancing is more and Morni. So this is called More Kuchir. On the other side, we can't see because now this big building has come up here. But there's Man Bandhu. Different from Man. Man means the heart. Man means you take a little anger and some crocodile tears and some pride and some coquettishness and you mix it all together like an artist. And that's called Man. When Radharani's upset with Krishna, then she does Man. So one time it was full moon, just like 11 days, 12 days ago now, it was full moon. And Krishna was describing the beauty of Srimati Radhika. And he said her complexion was just as beautiful as the full moon. And Radharani became curious. Why? Because we see the moon, he's got so many spots. He's got so many spots, so many faults. Krishna was describing her beauty with something with so many faults. Actually, he has panch dosh, 5 faults. First, we just said kalank, he's got spots. Second is K, he shrinks. Third is Banki, he's crooked. Fourth is Nisachar. Nisha, you know, means night. Huh? So achar, just like we came to Vrindavan to learn a little Vaishnava achar, behavior, etiquette. So Nisachar means whose behavior is to come out at night. Who comes out at night? Rakshas. When does the moon come? Nighttime, just like a Rakshas. And Fifth fault, Vishwabandhu. Just like some of the devotees, they name their children, Vishwanath, Vishwajivan, Vishwajit, Vishwambar. And what all of their friends call them? Hey, Vish. Now, those of you who don't know Hindi, you don't understand this. Vish means poison. I'm always embarrassed, we're walking along and prick of something, hey, Vish, and all the Brajvasis, true. So people always ask me, what should we name our child? I said, don't worry about what you're going to name him. Worry about what the friends are going to call them. So Vishwabandhu means relative of the poison. Because when they churn the ocean of milk, right, so many things came out. Uchesrava, the poison came out, and even the moon came out. So he's Vishwabandhu, he's relative of the poison. And if these 5 faults weren't enough, what do we call the moon in Sanskrit? Chatra. Sounds too much like one of Radharani's competitors, huh? So Radharani became furious and she ran away and hid. After some time, Radharani came back as Krishna was there lamenting. Hearing Krishna's lamentation, even the rocks began to melt. Then Radharani returned, but she was dressed up just like Krishna. And Krishna said, hey, who are you? Radharani says, I'm Krishna, who are you? He says, I'm Krishna, who are you? And Radharani said, I'm Krishna, who are you? He says, I'm the real Krishna, you're the Nakali Krishna. And Radharani said, I'm the real Krishna, you're the Nakali Krishna. In this way they were going back and forth. And then Radharani said, well, if you're the real Krishna, then where's your Srimati Radhika? Where's your Srimati Radhika? Krishna said, I'll play my flute, you'll come, you'll see. And Krishna played on his flute. Again, he played on his flute. Finally, he played so enchanting melody on his flute, and Radharani could no longer maintain her disguise. When Krishna opened his eyes, he saw Radharani standing right in front of him. And he grabbed her hand and they ran off behind her to Uchagaon to see if Lalita Sakhi could tell who is Radha and who is Krishna. Shri Sri Radha Krishna ki. So this temple on top of the hill, this is called Man Mandir, this where Radharani was angry with Krishna. And now we're about to enter the Gavarvan forest. And you'll see so many beautiful trees in this rainy season, just like little emerald drops, the little tiny leaves hanging down over the, and you will never see these trees on the ground, down below in the valley, only up on top of mountain. Like we'll see some here, we'll see some in Nandagan, we see some in Govardhan also. This tree is called Do. And in rainy season, little tiny emerald drop leaves come. After a while, little yellow topaz flowers come. Then little tiny red ruby fruits come. So emerald leaves, topaz flowers, ruby fruits. And then if you come here in December, you'll see a whole forest of gold leaf trees. And if you come in January, then you'll see a whole forest of copper leaf trees. You see copper leaf trees. And you come here in Gaur Purnima time, and there's no leaves at all. But the branches are very light colored. And that time, Gaur Purnima means after that, the sun starts to get heavy. The sun is shining down on the white bark. It looks like a forest of silver filigree trees. Very, very enchanting forest, mystical forest, Gavarva. This is called Gavarva. And we're going to go up there, and now that it's getting warm, Krishna's fan is turned on, and you'll hear the breeze flowing through the leaves. Maybe there's too many of us, but you listen carefully. Hear the breeze blowing through the leaves. And in this forest, if you're in the right consciousness, because ordinarily if you hit two rocks together, they go clack, 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 clack. But in this Gavarvan forest, if you have the right consciousness and you grab the right two rocks, or you take one rock and hit it against another one, all of a sudden you'll hear ding, 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 just like ankle bells. Ding, 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 ding. Very, very special mystical forest. So if you didn't get some water from Krishna Kund, those who are young, you can go down, bring some for those of us who are young at heart, but our knees are appreciating steps so more. And then we'll go, here we have a huge tree. When Krishna saw this type of tree, he said, Maya, what kind of tree is this whose leaf has got a tail? What kind of tree is this whose leaf has got a tail? Ye can't keep it, just get patiki punche Maya. Ye can't keep it, just get patiki punche Maya. And Mother Yashoda looks, oh, Lala, there's people tree. You see all these beautiful, huge, one in the corner, especially very huge old people tree. And we'll enter the Gavarvan forest. And eventually we'll go through the forest and we'll come to Dangar. And we'll hear wonderful pastimes there too. And there's so many Brahmanas. There's my friend Satish and my friend Bhagwan Bharadwaj. They're all waiting here to give you mukti from your money, so you give some nice donation. You give some nice donation to these. Hare Krishna.